even work. Fail.
Oh, I heard it.
Yeah, you heard it, but it didn't open the can.
Oh.
You're looking good. You got your.
We're rolling.
One more. Did all the playing with this. I haven't played any of this sound effects.
Oh my god.
Let's get this started. Haven't drank any of that. How's my hair?
Surprisingly, that was not the most stressful setup we've ever had.
That was the one that went really smooth. It went really super smooth until I did that. Well, hey, welcome to the podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to
It's got a name for a reason. Pretty clear.
Would you like to?
Pretty clear reason.
Would you like to introduce us?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Not me specifically.
Well, we're doing a podcast here. It's called Let's Do Something Stupid.
Can you say that more clearly into the mic?
Okay, we're doing a podcast here called Let's Do Something Stupid. And the first stupid thing we decided to do is do a podcast when we don't know what we're doing. And it's going pretty good, I'd say, so far, other than gravity just kind of messing with me right here. Which is funny because, I'm such a fan of gravity. You'd think I'd be better at this part, but I don't know if this particular one is going to work.
You gotta tighten it more.
I gotta tighten it more. Okay,
I was struggling with it too.
Give us a little more introduction there.
Okay, hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I don't know what episode this is, so have fun figuring that out later. Sarah, editing.
Sorry, I gotta fully dismantle.
Our podcast is called Let's Do Something Stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
We went snowboarding today. That was our main objective of today. And we were talking on our way back, hey, should we record a podcast today too? Just throw it in there. Why not?
Why not?
It's stupid.
I think we should absolutely include a broken boom arm because this thing doesn't work.
I was struggling with mine too.
Okay, well, so yeah, how was snowboarding today, by the way?
Do you need to take a pause to set that up better?
No, it's kind of fun. I mean,
I don't want you to hold it like that.
No, I'm not going to. This would be extremely tiring also. I'm going to get off the mic while you talk for a second here. Continue. Let me just ask you a quick question. How many days you been snowboarding now, and how was today? Today was
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'll fix the mic while I do this.
Okay. I've been snowboarding now for 4 days. This was day 4 for me. I feel like that could be a segment of its own. Is just learning a new thing as an adult.
Oh, absolutely.
And
especially as a little kid adult like me, watching other adults learn what they should have learned when they were little kids. It's fun, entertaining, sometimes tragic.
I mean, should have.
Also, champion moves though. It's very satisfying to watch adult people learn learn things.
Yeah.
Shreddy little kid things like skateboarding, snowboarding.
Things that you could have learned as a kid.
Yeah. Things that they only tell you you're supposed to do when you're a kid. You know what I mean?
I understand.
I have this problem as an
to say.
adult that has little kid hobbies. You know, some people kind of look down upon that. Yeah. This is going to be weird, but we're just going to have to go with it at this point. It's going to involve pizza pillow, another pillow. I don't get any pillows anymore. I don't know. Damn it. This is fucking up the podcast.
Dang.
Hold on. Let's see if we can get it.
It's all part. Technical difficulties are all part of it.
I guess. Definitely. Okay. Hey. I'm not going to touch anything
Did you
now.
Get it?
I got it.
Getting a phone call. Weird.
See?
Who calls me at this hour?
I don't know. Who does
In
call
this
you?
economy?
Who called you?
I don't know. Someone from Everett.
Someone from Everett?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
But the Funko Pop headquarters is calling me?
I don't know. Or boy, I'm trying not to put Everett down here, but I don't know, man. I don't want anybody from Everett calling me.
Anyway, snowboarding. Yeah, so we did that today, and I did the most runs that I've ever done in a single snowboarding day today.
Pretty solid.
Yeah. So I'm like properly tired.
Oh yeah.
But right now I feel like I'm kind of riding like the adrenaline high still.
That's
a little
great.
bit.
That sounds like
because
a great time
I
to
also had a pretty fucked up good hot chocolate right afterwards.
That
was like a sugar boost that I feel like I drank that at like the perfect time.
You know that it's part of the experience is to have a fucked up good hot chocolate.
Yeah. But I feel like if the drive was longer, I would have fucking passed out
I'm totally amazed that you never pass out when I'm driving, especially when I take you to do things that I know you're kind of fucked up tired from.
Yeah, because
it's pretty impressive.
I'm shocked too because I sleep great in a car.
I know.
I'm a car sleeper.
I feel like, you're allowed to sleep when I'm driving. I'm pretty good at staying awake when other people are sleeping. And I also love sleeping in a car so much that I fully am like, dude, enjoy that. If you're driving and I say I want to fall asleep in a car, I'm going to fucking sleep so good.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a crazy dream. It's going to be some adventure. I'm on an adventure.
I also just like hanging out with you too.
Well,
we have good combos in the car.
That is true.
Too.
That is true.
So that. But I love snowboarding. It's very fun. I'm for sure going to have a giant bruise on my
From
ass.
which one? Which moment?
God, one of the times I came off the lift, I landed hard.
No, I remember that one time. That was
hard.
Sadly, this is one of those things as an adult watching another adult learn to fucking do a kid thing. Yeah. You did not need to sit down that hard.
I know. I came down pretty hard.
Yeah. Fully self-activated. I hate to say it. You could have just kept on going. You were all fine. But no, you're like, let me do this. Wham. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Well. Well, the theme of today's podcast we thought would be kind of fun because if you know me at all personally, which I'm sure most of you do, this probably won't be too new of like a concept for you. And if you know Jimmy, and also if you know both of us together, it's a pretty significant subject in our lives.
That we do have pretty varied opinions on too. Like not opinions so much, but just like history, like the actual term. You haven't even said the term yet.
The theme of today's podcast is going to be van life. Hashtag van life.
Hashtag used to be called just being a dirtbag. There's a big thing right there, like that's the van life. Van life as an aspirational, like fancy thing.
Yeah, no, it became like a huge, like it took off, like
no one ever thought I was cool with my first van.
100%, yeah.
They thought I was a fucking dirtbag.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is gonna be fun. This is fun. This is like I've been thinking about this a lot. Yeah. It's great. Like, I mean, not only have I been thinking about it a lot, I think both of us actually think about this a lot, just regularly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because it is still very much part of our lives.
Oh, for like
today.
There's no quitting, Yeah. Yeah.
So, just to give like some backstory to this and everything, I want to say I was first introduced to van life in 2016, I want to say.
Why that year particularly? What was...
I was living in my hometown of Colorado.
I mean, usually I think I'm just going to don't mean to interrupt, but like a quick in is like the first inkling into anything like van life is like, I would like to move out of my parents' house.
Well, I guess it wouldn't
I love you, mom and dad, but
like the concept of van life, quote, came to me around that time.
Nice.
But the concept of living in a van came to me way before that. Because I had always been like, I want to own one of those like vintage Volkswagen buses and just travel around and just do road trips all the time.
Dude, I mean, you don't think I got stories about those?
Yeah.
I think I actually have stories you have not heard. Shocking. I know.
Kidding. No, but so that's where it started for me anyways, but that was always just like a lingering thing, and I'm just like, yeah, everybody kind of wants to own a Volkswagen bus.
Can I ask you just a technical question? Like at the time that you thought that, did you perchance just look up how much it would cost for you to buy like a vintage like 70s Volkswagen bus?
67.
60. Okay, how much would that cost in the era
it was
that you
yellow.
wanted to? Okay.
I don't remember how much it cost.
You don't,
I think it was like 27,000.
27 what? That's fucked up. I just want to say, so we're going to start this out because when I was in high school, we would buy those vans for like $800.
Yeah, I mean,
like
times have changed.
Yeah, dude, like no money because everybody thought they were garbage and they were old and they were like broke down all the time.
Yeah.
And only the dirtbag skateboarders and surfers and snowboarders.
I mean, they do
them.
break down all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's why only. But you're comfortable when you break down. You're chilling. You know,
exactly.
You got a house with you. But it's literally crazy. I could tell you stories about my friends' 80s vans that were just like, or we had them in the 80s. They were like fucking, or late 80s, early 90s. But like, you could buy them fucking. They were not collectible. They were not cool. Van life was not something that people were like, oh my God, I'm gonna pay $27,000 for a cool van. So that's the point of entry for you bums me out. Like, cause right then you wanted to do it and you're looking at a van, you're like, I'm in high school. Where am I gonna get $27,000?
I was not in high school in 2016.
Okay, well, I'm a young adult. Where am I gonna get $27,000? You know?
Yeah, no, that wasn't even a thought to me either because like I bought my first van for $1,000.
That's the way you're supposed to. A
It,
good $1,000 car.
It ran like it cost $1,000.
Yeah, that's also part of $1,000 cars. But you know, once again, when you buy a $1,000 van versus a $1,000 car, wherever it breaks down, picnic.
Yeah.
You know, just snacks first. Then you can deal with it.
Yeah.
Maybe you spend the night after snacks. I don't know.
That's a very interesting take for sure.
I mean, not to say that I've had a lot of $1,000 piece of shit cars and vans that have broken down, but I have. And you know, you got to have a good attitude about it.
I feel like it's an entirely different thing when that's your house.
Yeah, if it's that's true. Okay, we haven't even really got to there because I've always been a full-time, you know, like part of the year, lots of action adventure dirt bagging. But never really being like, oh, I actually just live in this. And that's I think that's where the term van life starts to be more of a like, hey, I'm on purpose calling this where I live. Where I think everything I did up till that point was like, yeah, I'm just trying to never be home.
Well, because up until very recently, like digital nomad like wasn't really a thing.
Exactly. That's not a job that you could have.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good point. You had to go to somewhere.
So people really leaned into that a lot, especially during COVID, obviously.
Yeah, but that's a lot after you got interested in it.
That,
like,
I mean, yeah.
I think it would be interesting to, and I don't know if I could do this in my own mind, but like when did this term was the term digital nomad available in 2016? When you first started thinking about this? It seems like it was on the beginning of being available.
Well, because I got interested in it because I was influenced by it a lot around that time. Because
on what service do you think at that time?
What service?
Yeah. You know, like what influenced you like at 2000?
YouTube.
YouTube. Okay, YouTube.
Yeah, I've been following the same YouTubers ever since then.
That's right. You showed me this. I know this.
Yeah. And they kind of like made me realize that, oh shit, you can do that.
I think that's about the first era of like YouTubers that actually could do that. That actually were like getting sponsorships and like doing things. Like I say, that's exactly like my misunderstanding of this shit because like they're doing some basic ass shit. Like they're not even doing like crazy things and they're getting sponsors and getting paid by, you know, different avenues that in my former life were not really available. In my former life, we're kind of like, if you want to be, I was using vans and van life to go out and do things that were like fucked up crazy. So they'd make it on some page of a magazine, you know, just like, jumped over a bus, you know, like, and now you're available, like the kind of things are just, yo, I'm van lifing. Let's talk about it. Here's how I built my bed. I love that stuff.
Well, like where I entered it, when I lived in Colorado was like, I was living with my ex at the time and we decided to basically just like drop in on it because both of our living situations like weren't the best and we we just had like this really delusional thought that we would like completely build out a van and like, I don't know, like.
Wait a minute. Why was that a delusional thought? I don't think that was a delusional thought.
It was delusional considering the both of us were broke.
Yeah, that's
like this was like, I don't want to like talk any shit about like my ex or anything like that. This was a very long time ago. But we're talking about.
I just want to point out that us doing this stupid podcast, we're gonna get in a lot of dangerous territory a lot of times. So apologies to everyone. We love you all, including your ex.
Anyway,
first interruption.
Just take a tally every time. Ding.
You should get a sound for that.
This is coming from someone who was like 21, 22, who filed for bankruptcy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How do you even know that that's a thing when you're 21? How much fucking trouble financially can you get in by the time you're 21?
Dude, I have no idea. But considering that fact, and
you gotta get a lawyer to do bankruptcy and shit.
Of course, we bought a van for $1,000, and the woman that
I still want that to be the right price, but I know it's not.
The woman who sold it to us was like, she originally bought, because we bought it in just the metal frame. Like there was absolutely nothing in it when we bought it from her.
Which
like,
is kind
it
of,
was stripped.
That's kind of good because someone else paid to take it all to the dump,
Sure. Yeah. In theory.
I know.
The
thing is,
because if it's a newer van, like the one that you got that was built in the last decade,
right,
versus something that wasn't.
Yeah, that may have been in like some salt state where they everything's rusted,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But her original plan was that she was gonna build it out and like,
of course,
travel and everything. And
do you remember this lady? Okay, yeah.
She was an older woman. Her name was Renee. Shout out Renee.
Renee.
The sweetest.
I hope you made it out.
The sweetest woman, and she was like so excited for us when we bought it from her. And she took a picture of us.
Well, of course.
And she posted us on her Instagram.
You were gonna finish her dream.
Exactly. We were gonna just go for it.
Yeah.
And so that happened. That was like a thing, and
it's such a thing.
It like. No, the amount of things that like, it was for sure a learning experience. Like all things are, especially when you tackle that huge of a project. You're like,
yeah, I'm trying to remember, but I don't hear you going to auto mechanics school in high school or anything.
It was such like a wanderlust thing for both of us, especially like being that young and being like.
Just a quick question about boyfriend at the time. Like, did he grow up in an industrial family that he had like welded or built shit or done anything?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I appreciate his gusto, you know? Like,
for sure.
He was
figure it out.
He for sure was just like, we're gonna fucking do this.
What you gotta do?
And I was just like, oh hell yeah, great. But then in the midst of that, I was like,
I love your hell yeah.
I like, obviously it took us way longer than we thought it would, and cost us way more money than we thought it would.
That's the problem. I have such an optimistic view of how cheaply I can do my stupid ideas.
Yeah,
I am always wrong.
But it costs way more when you don't know what the fuck you're doing either.
Sure, because you got to buy everything twice.
Exactly.
you buy it the first time, you fuck it up, and you're like, fuck,
exactly.
Buy that again.
And he really thought that like he could watch one YouTube video.
Oh, nice.
And know how
YouTube is amazing.
And know how to do everything. You can learn shit from YouTube.
No, but there's 1,000%. A million details. There's electricity. There's wood,
there's so much more that goes into it than just oh my god, yeah, it just really takes me back. Like,
so wait, just out of reference, did he just literally watch like one YouTube video?
No, so his side gig was like, he was a graphic designer. Mm-hmm. So he would like go into like this program and like make a blueprint of what the van is actually going to look like.
It's amazing to draw things on computers.
Yeah.
Throw in some fucking AI.
So in theory, this is going to be a fucking cool van. But in practice, it was a piece of shit. And
did he have the 3D rendering of like the closets?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't really. No, it wasn't even that. It was just like it was literally just like an outline.
Yeah.
Like I could have.
I mean,
I could have taken a Sharpie and drawn
I will admit
it.
to drawing mini shitty outlines with a pen.
Yeah, I could have took a Sharpie and drew it.
Yeah, yeah. And you'd be like, roughly this way. Yeah. I mean, I do that too. So, you know.
Everybody does that. And it's a, you know.
So, okay, let's talk. He had the outline. You guys bought the van. He has the outline. Where does this construction process begin? Does your dad, grandpa, or anybody get in on this one?
No dad,
no grandpa?
No. Dude, we were on our own for that one.
Whose tools did you use?
His that he bought from Harbor Freight.
Oh, Harbor Freight. Shout out. Shout out Harbor Freight. We'd love a sponsorship, you know, but you do suck. I am a regular customer as well, though.
I like Harbor Freight.
I love Harbor Freight, but I love Harbor Freight. But like the problem with Harbor Freight is there's like levels. Harbor Freight's great for like 100 like bungee cords. You can't beat Harbor Freight. Got one right there, holding something together.
Dude, the Harbor Freight that we went to was like the smallest Harbor Freight I've ever been in.
Yeah, I've been to some deluxe ones. I go to Harbor Freight everywhere. Okay, side note, shout out Harbor Freight. Love you. More story.
Weird. I can't say that word. Freight. What is it called?
Harbor Freight.
Freight.
I'm like saying, it comes in a truck from China. I'm not saying
Harbor. I'm saying. What am I saying? Harbor Freight.
You sounded good enough to me.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, you said I did not notice it being wrong till you said something. So, anyways, we all know what that means. We got some cheap ass tools. Cheap ass tools that'll work for a minute. And so, like I said, shout out Harbor Freight.
Everything that it was so janky. Like when I look at the pictures back from it, I was just like, oh my God, this. But I mean, back then.
What was janky? What was janky?
Just all of it. Like we used like the expanding foam for insulation.
I mean, that's a good idea. It's good stuff. It's expensive.
It's so fucking messy. It gets everywhere. It's a pain in the shit. You have to use a moisture barrier if you're gonna do that kind of installation too.
Well, probably because it off gases and shit too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but.
But what do you mean the moisture? Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course.
If you're gonna build walls over, you
also
can't just...
the number of pants and sweatshirts and cool Carhartt jackets I've ruined with spray foam is like significant.
Yeah,
so I understand.
So that and just the attention to detail wasn't there.
The spray foam seems traumatic.
Like the amount of Insulbright we used as well.
Insulbright being like the foam panels, or
like the reflective, like insulation stuff. Yeah.
What I'm getting from that giggle is that this shit was not warm.
No, it wasn't warm. I mean, but that really wasn't like.
Actually, can I take a quick side note question about this van build out and this van escape plan at that point in your life? Because you are in Colorado. Which for me as a van lifer of the Northwest and the Cascadia region is a different climate altogether. You know, here we got to be like dry. That's very important. Warm, very important. But Colorado, it's a different level of warm. Like it's cold there. So
yeah, it does get cold.
Were you planning on jumping into this van life and living in Colorado, or were you bailing out?
No, we were going to leave immediately.
Okay.
Where we were going to go? Have no idea. We did not have a plan.
Oh, really? It wasn't here? No?
Nope.
Huh? Shit.
We were just going to go.
Sweet. Kansas?
No, probably not. Yeah, we literally didn't have a plan. It was just like, we're going to take 1 month to build out this van, and then we're just going to go.
1 month to build a van. I don't own any tools, and I don't got a grandpa or dad's house. Did this boyfriend have his parents in this neighborhood?
We did the build in his mom's driveway.
Okay, good. Shout out mom.
So.
Nice.
And then
she brought out cookies and
I lived with him around that time. I lived with his mom around that time that we were building out the van.
Yeah, she was probably stoked.
But she wasn't really around ever.
Oh, well. So, either one.
So
that's why I said she was probably stoked. She didn't have to be around. She's like, oh, my son's there with his girlfriend. I'm going to peace out.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't have a plan at all. Telling this part of my life is like it was so long ago. It feels like a lifetime ago.
But it's good to get it down while you still have like brain cells to remember it. That's awesome. Details. The longer it goes, the harder it gets. That's all I'm telling you. Not that I know for any reason, but I've got a shitty van build out that I'll try and with a young ex-girlfriend.
But like, I don't want to seem like I was ungrateful because like he did so much work and like I helped too, and I
doing
learned,
your best. You know?
I learned so many things about that, which allowed me to do van life the way that I wanted to. After that,
I was at some point in this story, I will give you the progression of stupid like camper vehicles I've had, and it's fucking deep. And everyone got better, and you know that's just how it goes. So like, I think you guys are doing pretty good so far here. Like,
yeah, we were actually like doing something.
Yeah, you actually had insulation. I'll be honest, I had many a camper van with no insulation.
Yeah,
right off the bat. So
yeah, I don't even remember. We didn't. Did we have? Yeah, we did have solar. Yeah, we had solar.
Damn, I mean that's high tech. Yeah. I've never had. Trust me, my vans have sucked. So this is okay.
Yeah, but I got fed up with living in that town like midway through the build, and the build was taking forever. And
wait, which town was this?
Junction.
Okay, yeah.
And I was just like, I just got sick of it. So I was just like,
why at that point? You'd been there your whole life mostly.
Well, because moving to Seattle was already a thought to me.
It was in your head. Okay.
Yeah. And with van life, I was just like, I didn't have like a plan to like eventually take the van to Seattle. It just kind of like naturally happened like that.
Sure. Yeah.
But I mean, the relationship went to shit. My mental health went to shit. And then I was like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm peacing out. I'm going to Seattle.
Right.
And then we did long distance, and then he was continuing to build out the van while I was living in Seattle. And then he was like, I'll meet you in Seattle, and then totaled the van on his way to Seattle. So that's what happened to the van.
Oh my God.
And it was
like
so
many young people, like just things right there. Long distance relationship wasn't working out.
Just all of the bad things. Like every single one of them. No. All of the bad things.
I'm sure this person is awesome still. And if you talk now, you'd probably be friends. You know.
100% not, but.
Okay. Well, yeah. Then that's fine too.
But it was just thinking about it. It makes
intentions were there. You know?
Intentions were there. It makes for a great story because after that, because this was such a talk about doing something fucking stupid too. Like when he broke down.
Okay, I gotta ask a quick timeline question because you said you were gonna do the build in a month.
Yeah.
So did you piece out to Seattle 2 weeks into this build?
No. I pieced out like a year into it.
Oh, what? What happened to that month went into you? Okay, well, that's, you know.
That's what I was saying. Like, it took way longer than we both had.
I thought way longer. And then we took 2 weeks or a month.
And then we took really, really long breaks. And then we were like, all right, is this something that we still want to keep doing? And then we just, we were realizing that like our plan wasn't really working out. What plan? We didn't really actually have a plan, and then that came like back to bite us right in the butt, you know.
Yeah, because you now you have to admit at some point that you did not have a plan.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but that day,
I mean, I still back fully living without a plan. I've done really well with that. So I don't fault you guys for that. At that point, I'm like,
no, yeah, I did. Yeah. I did stupid shit.
Yeah,
I was figuring shit out. Like I wouldn't have done anything differently back then for sure because, like, my experiences that I had through like every single van life experience that I had and keep having up until this point are great, and it makes me want to keep doing it. Like that did not make me want to stop doing it.
The disasters are part of the fucking living.
Exactly.
This is a real quick relationship test. Just friend test, group test, crew test. Like you got two different kinds of people that handle disasters on adventures in different ways, you know?
Yeah.
Blow up, freak out, or just like, good story. So you're in the good story part of this still, and that's great. And I do appreciate that, because that's a.
I mean, it's all a great story, and
That's
it's a great
right.
story because if you were to ask me back then if it was a great story, absolutely not.
No, on a day that's shitty, the day is shitty.
Because when he broke down in Yakima.
Everybody's favorite town in Washington. Shout out Yakima.
And it was like he threw a rod through the oil pan, and it was just
because he didn't check the oil for since he drove from Junction, Colorado.
I don't know, but
that's.
Could you imagine?
As someone who's done that as a young kid of that age, that's what it was. God, when you drive a shitty car, you gotta put oil in it.
Really?
Yep.
You heard it here first, guys. If you drive an old shitty car,
my dad towed me home with a 12-foot tow rope on I-5. It was embarrassing because my dad looked at me. He's like, "You're a fucking idiot. You didn't put oil in this car."
No, honestly, just the fact that because our first van was a 1987 Ford Econoline.
Yeah, I have a lot of experiences with breaking down Econolines. Yes.
So
the entire Ford line.
The fact that he drove from Colorado to Yakima, Washington, in the span in less than 48 hours.
Number one.
December.
Yeah. No chains, no stud tires.
No.
Yeah, no. Just,
none of that shit.
Just raw. I hate that word, so I'm not going to say it. But
when I had to go pick his sorry ass up in Yakima.
Wait, okay. You didn't have to pick him up. You went there to ride the bus back with him? Like, what'd you pick him up in?
I didn't.
You picked him up in a Greyhound bus?
That wasn't the point of the story.
100% best girlfriend ever.
That's not the point of the story.
It's part of the story, though.
Okay, fine.
It's an epic. You're fucking amazing girlfriend at this point. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But when we went to go, when I went to go meet up with him at the mechanic because he didn't have a car to take him anywhere.
No.
He was sitting at the mechanic.
Yeah. Does he have a skateboard?
He had to tell him it was December, dude.
I don't care. You still have a skateboard.
Snow.
Don't care. Still have a skateboard. It's literally number one survival tool. It's like a towel and
I don't fucking know what he had. I don't know what he had. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the story. The story.
Yep.
Is that when I went to go pick him up from the mechanic.
I know it's suspense. Don't make me ask. What happened? He's sitting there, obviously.
He tells me that the mechanic is gonna basically buy the van from us, use it for parts or whatever.
Sure.
Recycle it.
Totally.
Whatever the fuck
I'll
they
give you
do.
$2.
Destroy it.
Yeah.
They give $100.
Yeah.
$150 each. That bought us our bus ticket back to Seattle.
You hadn't pre-bought that?
No. We were very much we'll figure it out when we get there kind of people.
I just have to shout out Sarah as best young man's girlfriend ever. Why did you ride the bus out there to ride him back with him? That's very cool.
I didn't ride the bus out there. I got driven out there.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I got
dropped off.
Wait a minute. Why didn't whoever drive you there drive you guys both back?
We stayed in a hotel.
But
for a night.
For what? Oh, yeah, whatever.
What do you mean for what?
Well, what if you had a ride for a Seattle friend that drove you out there?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you just all get in the car and drive back?
You would think. I don't remember, honestly.
Are you serious?
I really don't remember.
I would think.
I don't.
You guys were like, oh no, let's get a scenic Motel 6 in Yakima, Washington, down by the river, and let's take the Greyhound bus home.
No, I literally
upgrades.
I literally don't remember.
Ding. You know what? Shout out Greyhound bus. Fuck ice.
It was.
That saying's going around.
It was.
I'm not gonna say it on the podcast. Sorry.
It was Christmas Eve.
Yeah. So get back in the car with your friend and get a ride home.
I don't remember.
Who's the friend who drove you out there?
Doug.
So, and Doug just drove home by
Dude,
himself?
I literally don't remember.
Okay.
Like, if we could have gotten in the car with Doug to drive back to Seattle immediately, then maybe we would have done that, yes. But I don't remember
Okay.
what happened.
It's a good thing you're
The
telling the story now.
point
I'm telling you, this
is-
gets worse.
The point is
Yes.
that he moved all of his belongings into the van when he moved up here. So,
That's probably why you stayed for a day. You're like, we got to figure out how to. Doug did not have a big enough car to take all his shit.
yeah, but we couldn't. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
But you couldn't.
That
what?
was the thing.
You didn't.
We couldn't take all of the shit that was in the van,
Right.
obviously. Even like all of the shit that like, God, that we spent so much money on just like for the build, like the fridge, the battery, the solar panels, like
No.
all of it. How the fuck were we supposed to transport that? Where were we gonna put it? Our plan was that we were gonna live in that van.
Dude, this is more tragic than I realized.
So
Like
at that point, he was technically homeless at that point after the van, and I was still living in Doug's basement. But our big, amazing plan was that he was going to drive to Seattle to spend Christmas with me, and that I would move into the van with him.
Right. And then all of a sudden you
And then the
just
universe
banger
was
the-
like, huh, fuck that, girl. You are not doing that right now. And
So wait, this is on the van life story. Just to put a quick recap on this. Your first dream build van life. Here it is, ready to go. Gets out here. You really didn't even get to adventure in it or live in it before it got destroyed.
Yep.
And it took like a year to build.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and so we had to get rid of it, and yeah, we took the Greyhound bus back to Seattle on Christmas Day. Wild.
Yeah, no, legit. Like everybody knows. Like once again,
But-
shout out Greyhound bus. But crazy shit goes down on Greyhound buses from Yakima to Seattle.
But also like that so delusional, like both of us, like wildly, like just it explains like my thought process and what I am attracted to as far as relationships go
Oh,
very well. Like it
no.
it checks out because when we were on the bus, you're like, oh shit.
I know.
Because when we were on the Greyhound bus, of course we didn't get seats next to each other. So he was sitting like a couple seats down from me, and he was texting me like the whole time that we were driving up to Seattle, and he's just like, "This is it. Like this is our story. This is a fucking YouTube channel. Like this is like we're gonna make it. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna just go for it." And I was like, "Yes, you are so right. This is just another like part of our story, just another chapter
he's right.
in our
It's
life."
working right now.
And just like all of the shit. And I was like,
Why did you not get seats next to each other? Was it bus full?
yeah, bus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Christmas Day.
packed. Yeah.
Christmas Day, last bus ride. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
And
Yep.
so just the fact that we were able to get tickets on that was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, it's crazy to me how I don't have a memory of like
The not getting in the
getting-
car with Doug to go back
I
is the
don't
hardest
even-
thing to understand.
I don't remember.
But I know there was some circumstance,
There had to have been.
Yeah,
There, because that surely.
I'm sure the circumstance was probably like, let's figure out how to get all my stuff and as much stuff out of the van as possible. Because, like you said, solar panel, battery, stove, probably furniture. I know what it takes to build out a van.
Yeah,
like
it was
you
all
like
the
you said,
shit.
it
Yeah.
always costs more than you think.
Yeah.
And
So
now you
by
just
the time we
left it on the ditch.
So by the time we got back to Seattle, it was like we figured our shit out. He lived in a hostel for a couple of weeks until my friend Christina offered an extra bedroom in her house, and then we moved in with her and her husband, and then he had like the idea to like buy another van because
Well, I mean, come on. You know?
no, yeah, I get it.
That first build was so cool, dude. It was like ready to go on adventures, and it was almost there. And
No, yeah. So he was basically like, because I wanted to keep living with Christina, like I was ready to like sign a lease and everything, and he was just like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm buying another van like with or without you.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I guess we're doing van life again. Again. We're doing van life for real now this time.
Right.
So
the again didn't really, it wasn't, yeah, you've never really launched on
no.
Yeah.
At that point, no.
Had you, like, literally, had you gone on any camping trips in the van before it got totaled?
No. Didn't take that van anywhere.
Wow.
Anywhere.
I am so sorry. That is like the most tragic start of a van.
Her name was Nessie.
Yeah, she even had a name. Yeah, never went anywhere, Nessie.
She was green.
Never went anywhere, Nessie.
Never went anywhere, Nessie. No. Oh. Poor Nessie.
Okay,
but then
so
when he came out with the bright idea to, are you breaking shit?
I don't know. I heard something, but I think we're good.
When he came up with the bright idea to like buy another van and everything, and I was just like, okay, fine, whatever. I guess I'm going with you. I was just like, but there's caveats to this. Like I have things that I need in a van that are like non-negotiables for me. I mean, based on the last van that we bought.
Exactly. You are like, a girl, you know, you get those privileges, you know, you get to like say like, you know, I need a comfortable whatever. Yeah. Okay. What were they?
I was gonna say that.
Okay.
Here in a second.
I bantered you into it.
So because of the last van that we bought, it was like, you know, a metal shell. Yeah. So I didn't want to do that again because we were moving directly into it. Yeah. Like it wasn't like
this time you don't even have Mom's driveway or Harbor Freight tools.
Yeah, exactly.
They all gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you know, because I had been looking around like kind of the same era, like 80s, 90s vans, because that was the only thing we could fucking afford at the time.
You know, they're the $1,000 vans.
Yeah, and I was like, I want one of those vans that has like one of the bench seats in it that folds down into
Hell
a bed.
Yeah, man. Chevy Beauville, Chevy.
That's a built-in bed. Like we don't have to do shit for a bed at that point. Like
I've had them. They're great. They're not that comfortable, but they're not that bad.
But I basically like my whole thing was that I don't want to buy like a shell of a van because we can't build anything in it.
The thing is about the vans that come with a fold-out seat also had like walls and insulation already.
Yeah, exactly.
And usually velour, like some great color.
Yeah. So it was mostly that. Like I wanted it to be carpeted and like because we were moving into the van.
What month? Oh, obviously are you still in the winter here?
Did you live springtime?
So you made it till springtime at some.
We bought the van in March.
That's nice, March. Yeah, so, May, June. Well, it's still early, but yeah.
Yeah, it was still rainy season.
Yeah.
But yeah, the day that we moved in to the van.
Okay, wait a minute. You said you bought the van. Let's clarify what van. What van is this? Describe. You know, like what model, make. Like what do you call it? You don't have to give the name yet. But
I already started saying Rose. It was Rose.
Yeah.
My Rose.
With affection, my Rose.
She was a 1991 Chevy G20.
That's right.
And
more
she was beautiful.
You know, yeah, color, pop top, no pop top.
But when we were no.
A little.
Oh, I mean a little. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't standard.
You can Google it. Or just scroll on my Instagram for a while. You'll see a lot of photos of her.
Okay. I'm going to reference, it had like a little bit of a lift, you know, just like it's a cool-ass van. It was like, it's not like a full camper van. A cool-ass van, but a family roller.
But we were looking at all the apps when we were like in the market to buy a van. We were like, you know, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, blah, 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 and all this stuff. We found her on OfferUp.
Yep.
And I think I was the first one to actually find her.
You were the first to offer up.
And I was like, oh my God, this van is perfect. This checks all of the boxes.
Where was the van located at
and
this time?
So I was like, we have to go see her. You know, message the seller. It's this old man,
which is rad.
And he was like, yeah, you can come take a look at it tomorrow. You know, whatever. And we did, and she was nestled in between some trees on some property out on Bainbridge Island.
Yeah, nice.
And
all covered in pine needles.
I remember...
Kind of moldy.
She was not moldy.
Okay, that's great. That's amazing. Good job, Grandpa. You know, it's just the danger of it's just the danger of getting into vans out there. You
Want to know a fun fact about me and Rose?
No. Yes. Yes.
Was her third owner.
Damn, that's pretty rad. That's cool.
When we bought her, she had 80,000 miles.
Oh man, could have gone forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Great van.
Why did I say probably still going, right?
Well, she probably still is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I first saw her though, I literally fell in love with this van. Like it was love at first sight.
Nice.
It was. And I absolutely I would not shut up about her either.
What was the sticker price on this bad boy?
We bought her for $3,000.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's very reasonable. That's
and it
great.
And the guy was like, I have another person coming to look at it. Like,
Yeah.
of course, classic.
Yeah.
But I believed him, and I was like, oh my God, we need to get this van.
For $3,000 that van, it's probably true.
Yeah,
like
and so we were like, can we give you like half right now, and we can give you the other half in like a couple of days when I get paid or whatever. And he was so fucking nice, and he was like, I will do that, and I will write you a bill of sale right now.
Yep, I love a good Peninsula old man that sells stuff like with personal deals.
He bought.
Shout out, Dad.
And he bought her specifically to tow his boat.
All right. Yeah. No more boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he hadn't even like used her.
No, it probably went from
much.
his house to the boat launch like 4 times a year.
And he got her from this old lady that lived out in like Montana. And he picked it up in Montana and drove it out.
Montana's quality, dry.
Yeah.
That's good.
And so she was perfect. She had like beautiful interior, like maroon colored carpets and like maroon colored shades and the fold down bench and the little mini TV.
Is there another color we would use other than maroon? Was it maroon or was it?
It's like a burgundy.
A burgundy. Like, if you want to sell this van,
a rose color.
A rose color, a burgundy rose. Like this is like high end stuff, It's good.
Sure. Yeah.
Burgundy.
Yeah.
I know that seat all pluff.
So just
pluff
like
cushioned.
on the same vein of like relationship tests, crew tests, blah blah blah, and all that shit. We lived in that van for 3 months and broke up.
Damn. That's rough. I mean, that's great. No, I mean, it's like it's figured it out.
Figured it out for sure.
Well, wait a minute. Who paid the $3,000 for the van at this point?
We both did.
You both did? Okay. You went halves. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
We went halvesies, but we broke up before it was completely paid off too.
Oh, damn
it. We borrowed that money from one of our friends.
Sure.
And so I fully believed he was going to leave me with all of the payments, but I would not let him do that.
You're like, I will stay in this relationship just long enough to make the payments. Hey man, that's totally fair.
No, he was fair. He paid the rest.
That's
of it
good.
off,
Good
which
job.
Was good.
Good job.
But no chance. Because we would, I mean, it's just, you never truly...
Can I, as an actual Seattle person now, I just want to point out, you've now just recently moved to Seattle and you're van lifing.
Yeah.
In that 3 months, the 3 months you van lifed in Rose with said ex-boyfriend here, where were you guys van lifing? What neighborhood were you chilling?
We were like exclusive.
What was the survival network? Was it like, did you have a gym membership at this point?
Yeah. I mean, we were mostly staying in Northgate.
Yeah.
Specifically because that's where like Christina lived.
Right. Yeah.
So we would mostly like park around their house.
Okay.
Just because we knew the area.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
And we would kind of venture around, but not really. Because it was like we were for sure in survival mode. So trying to figure out.
And
like,
also
all
a Chevy 19 whatever early 90s Chevy, gas mileage ain't so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. So you can't be driving around all the time like looking for shit.
And she ran beautifully too.
That's amazing though. That's awesome.
So good. So great. Like her.
I always call vans like that when you're driving them. It's like driving the magic carpet. You get on the freeway, you go on a road trip. It's just like, it's floating. Steering, not so good. It's not like steering tight, but it's going to float down that lane for the next 500 miles, like real chill. Yeah. Magic carpet. Those vans are magic carpets. They're great.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'd mostly be hanging out in Northgate, and it would be, gosh, yeah, it's such a weird time. We would have like one of those like 5-gallon things of like water, like the plastic things that we would use, like the big,
like the round ones.
Yeah, the round ones
that you're
like
supposed to put in. You mean the office water bottles?
Yeah, we'd have one of those in the van.
And how did you have an office water bottle flipper up or downer in the van?
No,
you just had a big straw. you
that probably would have been better, honestly.
Yeah, you didn't have like a fish pump that you pumped it out with.
No, I don't even.
How would you use the 5-gallon that kind of water bottle?
Dump it
into what?
Like our water bottles, and then we would use
like
it.
Carefully, like I'm gonna hold this. Yes. When are you gonna pick up this like 25-pound thing of water?
Yes, insane. I know, but we'd like have to go to the Fred Meyer.
Had you never been to like an Army surplus store or anything that you can get like camping water things at that point?
Camping water things?
Yeah, like things that have spigots on the bottom.
Oh, spigot. No, that was this was a whole new world to us, man.
You know, this is
a whole new world. But it was fucked. It's see, this is what I'm saying. We're I learned so much.
Literally learned. That's such a funny young person's mistake. And I'm just gonna be like, of course, I'm a Northwest kid who grew up next to the Army surplus store, with survivalist tendencies all around me. But like, you could have gone to any Fred Meyer and got like a 5-gallon with a spigot water bottle thing.
Yeah, we were dumbasses. You can see where like little shit like that added.
Where did you store this?
You could tell that little things like that added up to how much we resented each other. You know what I mean?
Yes, I can.
Like all of the tiny little things that we were doing wrong that just like made our relationship worse and worse as it was going.
Nobody needs the relationship test of trying to pour a fucking 25-gallon bottle of water into a water bottle every day. That's horrible.
Exactly. Yeah. And he had the brilliant idea to install the roof fan the night that we moved into the van too, and then didn't seal
first day you bought it?
The first day we bought it. And
with his Harbor Freight tools?
Because there's no fucking way that we could sleep in the van without a roof fan.
What?
There's no way. We would have suffocated.
Was that literally the logic? Oh, man.
I really hope he never listens to this.
Well, like I said, this is going to be we're playing a dangerous game here, like high percentage that nobody ever listens to anything we're saying, so it's fine.
But absolutely, like, just batshit, because then of course it started to leak, and then mold started to grow, and then we for sure couldn't live in the van then, and so he spent $100 just spend the night in the Airbnb for one night because he was so afraid to sleep in the van because it was leaking for one day.
What?
Yeah. Because it started raining.
Okay, this is actually very funny because I know both of you came from a dry Colorado place.
Yeah.
I grew up in some hippie fucking rainforest action. Dude, everything's moldy. Everything's wet. Like, you were saying that one day of wetness in the van, was like, oh my God, this is dangerous?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, you're insane.
It's amazing I'm alive.
I was like, you're insane. One, we can't afford to stay in an Airbnb.
Yeah.
We just bought a $3,000 van.
Yeah. That you didn't have the money for.
Yeah, that we didn't have the money for.
Why'd you even spend the money on a fan? I don't even understand that. You can roll down the fucking window.
Yeah, we for sure didn't need to buy that immediately. For sure not.
It had windows.
Yeah, it had windows.
Yeah, you could open them.
Yeah, but we were planning on cooking in the van and
I get it. I don't get it, but yeah, okay.
Are you glad that you installed a fan in your van?
Oh, absolutely. But if I didn't have the wherewithal to do it, it'd be fine without it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I did that because I'm bougie now.
Yeah.
So it was the van that you and me are dealing with is the bougiest thing I've ever had. So. Yeah.
So all of that, just to say that was my first. That was my introduction to van life.
Yeah. Okay, but this is your much beloved. Okay, we gotta.
That was my introduction to van life.
Right.
That was it. And so after the breakup happened, after we broke up, I was left with the van by myself.
And the leaking.
Oh, honestly, like a cascade of things started happening after we broke up. Like anything that could have gone wrong with the van went wrong. I had to figure it out myself.
Damn.
All of it.
Like motor, electrical?
No. Nothing that crazy.
Well,
Thank
that's
God.
good. That's good.
Thank
So
God. No.
it basically ran and worked, but like the hole in the roof still leaked.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah. The whole
Otherwise known as
roof,
the fan.
the roof leaked. There was just a bunch of shit that I had to get replaced too, like immediately after that happened. Like I spent so much money in repairs, and when I finally found a good mechanic too, he sat me down, and he was like, "I'm gonna be real with you. Like, are you willing to put money into this van?
Yeah, totally.
Because it needs work, and
Yeah.
it might not be worth it because." The repairs are going to cost more than what this van is worth. And I was like, thank you for telling me that. No, like on a real note.
Yeah.
You know?
No, at a certain point, I think this happens. Like mechanics have to, they're not all horrible,
No, they're not. But as a woman.
Yeah. No,
different
totally.
experience.
Yeah, totally.
But
I don't think it's any better as a man. Like trust me, if a man comes in.
What?
Well, a man who does not know shit about mechanics comes into a mechanic, this guy's like, I'm gonna fucking take you hard. At least as a woman, you might get some sympathy.
What? That is the hottest of hot takes I think you could ever say.
It is, but like literally, think if
you
you're
don't think
if
that
you're
you have
if you're an idiot tech bro, if you're an idiot
think,
tech bro and you come into a mechanic in my neighborhood,
no. That's regardless of the fact.
Money.
You don't think that if you walk into a mechanic, you don't immediately have male privilege?
Oh no, I definitely do that. But also male, like if the male who comes into that, like I said, if a tech bro comes into a mechanic in White Center and is obviously just like, I fucking push buttons and I'm a millionaire, that mechanic's gonna be like, everything is top fucking price. Like everything's top price. Like there's no sympathy is gonna happen.
I understand that.
Yeah.
To where
But if you come in like me, then you have full male privilege. Like I could fix this myself. I'm just lazy. What's the best deal you can do? Then me personally, I have full male privilege. So it kind of two things, two different things.
And you're comparing that to an experience that a woman would have.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying a woman has the potential. I'm saying the woman has the potential to receive maybe some sympathy. I think men come into two categories. One where it's just like straight business and all privilege, and one where it's like, you are a fucking sucker. Because if you're a fucking adult man who knows nothing and just has money, that mechanic's going to be like, I am going to take as much of that money as possible.
Okay. All right.
You don't have to agree with it. I don't know.
I don't.
I know. Okay, but you found a good mechanic.
Yeah, I found a great mechanic. I loved my mechanics so much. They were so nice to me. All of their prices were totally fair.
Yeah.
And of course, I had my dad to thank for that too, because I would always ask him.
Yeah.
If I was being screwed over.
You pulled in some remote right man privilege. Yep.
But at the point, it kind of got to the point where like we had some great like an understanding, basically.
Yeah, he was like, well, once you get a good mechanic like that, he's going to take pride in taking care of your car,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you got a good mechanic who takes pride in taking care of your car. Then what?
So we got into like a good relationship where like every time I would see him and like he would notice that I'd be like taking good care of the van, like mechanically speaking, obviously.
Nice.
He would like give me a piece of chocolate.
No way.
Or he'd be like, hey, you can go like in the freezer back there and we got some ice cream if you want to like pick something from the freezer. Because he knew that like I lived in the van.
Yeah.
And every time they'd have to like keep it overnight, he would get really concerned about me. And he'd be like, are you going to be okay? And I'm like, yeah, I have friends that I can like stay with and everything. And he would always like warn me when that was going to happen, or he would reschedule it around my schedule.
That's cool.
And
That's
it was just,
cool.
they were so good to me. And even when because, I was paranoid all the time because that was my house. And I tried.
Your house can't be at the mechanic for 3 weeks.
And I was just paranoid that like I wasn't putting enough oil in. I would constantly be checking the oil. I'd constantly be checking all of her fluids. I would like constantly, I was just like, I took good care of that van.
That's awesome.
And they were just like, they could totally notice that.
Yeah.
You know? And so I don't even know where I was going with that story, but yeah, they were great mechanics and everything. So I was definitely well taken care of. God damn it.
I had nothing to do with this.
There's a lot happening right now.
Let's do something. I would like to point out we are not drunk. Either of us. We both spilled most of what we had to drink at this point.
I'm like so tired though. At least I spilled that like on my couch and not.
We don't even like this couch for reference, so it's okay.
I hate this couch.
But I do want to figure out where you're going with the mechanic story. But I think the point was
I don't remember.
The point was that you took over the van from the ex, and all of a sudden you're on your own with it, and you had to take care of everything.
Yeah.
And you had to, you were like legit. Now you are. This is actually the first point in the story where you are legit van lifing it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we've transitioned from that first whole story, that first whole van was like aspirations to like get on the road and van life, and never even happened.
Yeah, no.
Then it happened shortly and was stupid.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But now you got a system going. You got a good mechanic taking care of the van. You're chilling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically. So like my plan while I was living in Rose when I was, and like just for reference, I lived in Rose for 3 years.
That's very fun starting at this point.
Yeah. And the only reason why I stopped is because COVID happened, and that just made my life a million times more difficult to handle that. But while I was like living in Rose full time, my plan was going to be like, oh, I'm just gonna like save literally all of the money that I have, and I'm going to get Rose like in perfect like mechanical condition and perfect.
I mean, it sounds like she was in pretty. I mean, it sounds like you were doing good on that.
I mean, but it was a lot of work, you know, because my mechanics would be like, "This is gonna cost this much," and I'd be like, "Okay, give me a couple weeks, you know, whatever."
Yeah.
But I was like, once I get her like all mechanically good to go, and I save up a bunch of money like working at Starbucks full time, and then figure out a way to like make money on the road, I'm just gonna go. Yeah,
this is we're back to the digital nomad dream. Here we are.
And then I'm just gonna go. And like that was my plan.
Are you a computer programmer at this point?
My plan was that I was just gonna do wedding photography, and I was gonna be on the road.
That's a solid plan.
I was gonna be on the road, just doing wedding photography.
You could have and could still do that.
I could if I was still interested in doing wedding photography.
Oh, if it didn't suck immensely.
Yeah.
But
that was my plan. That was like that was what I was gonna do, and I was just gonna go for it, and that never happened.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
no, that's it. It worked out how it was supposed to work out.
Do you think it never happened because you didn't drop in on it, or because, I mean, you had a good. The thing is, you had a pretty good deal at your Starbucks job, and so you're making, what it sounds like pretty decent money and had insurance and all that shit. So
it was comfy,
making the jump from having all that comfy with van life to the pressure of running your own photography business and not having any security and van life is a big, that's, it's probably smart you didn't do that because.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because we all know being a photographer is a really fun and amazing way to have a lot of good stories, but maybe not always the best way to make money.
It's really, really hard to make money as a photographer nowadays. We could do an entire podcast about that.
I think at some point we probably will.
We can have a lot of guests on that podcast.
Oh, so many losers.
Shut up. What?
I'm just joking. Like so many of my friends were like, all my best photographer friends are electricians. Good job. Join a union,
I was talking about the people we work with, but
oh, I know
that too.
But I'm gonna add to the list. We gotta have guests, right?
Yeah.
We'll have to have that at a place where we bring them in like 5-minute increments. Why didn't this work out for you?
Yeah. So I'm my experience with Rose was one of the great experiences of my life, and for a long time, or one of the reasons why it took me so long to get rid of Rose, because I moved out of Rose.
Yeah, wait, you got to finish off the quitting living in Rose moment. Like,
yeah, well, I'm getting there.
Okay.
The reason why I moved out of Rose was because COVID happened, and I relied a lot on third place resources around that time, like a lot of people kind of did. But
so how far into COVID, like, do you remember what month that you were like, fuck, this is not working anymore?
November 2020.
Okay, so that was like 6 months into it. So that was yeah.
Because well, first it was COVID, but also second it was winter and COVID.
Yeah, totally.
So
you made it through summer in COVID.
Yeah,
which was a really nice summer in Seattle. It was a lovely summer. Yeah,
beautiful.
I didn't do shit but grow shit in my garden.
And I went back home to Colorado, and my entire family helped me rebuild Rose. And
you got like the full road trip in Rose. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, but that's sad though. So wait a minute, you didn't rebuild it until just then?
2020.
That summer? Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Yeah.
So you'd been living in it full Chevy van style, fold down seat for 3 years.
Yep.
Before you did that cool remodel.
Yep.
But the reason why actually kind of hurts.
But the reason why, it just hurt. But the reason why it took me so long to sell her, because I moved into an apartment in November of 2020, and I didn't sell Rose until April of 2023. And the reason why it took me so long to get rid of her, I mean, obviously for a lot of reasons.
Yeah,
like
because it's your fucking van.
I didn't want to get rid of her. She was the love of my life.
You put so much work into it.
I put so much work, so much time, so much money.
I mean, I think you have to do a quick rebuild story, because this went from like rad, Chevy van, fold down seat living to quick.
Yeah, I mean, a whole rebuild, like hardwood floors, like pine tongue and groove on the walls, solar, fridge.
Like real camper van.
Like real camper van.
Moving to van life.
Like an actual bed.
Yeah.
Bed was built, underbed storage, mattress, lighting situation, like, just.
And that was the summer of COVID that you built that.
The summer of COVID, yeah. And so, when I moved back to Seattle, I couldn't do it anymore. And so
what was the kicker? Like not having a gym to go to, basically?
Yeah, the gyms were closed.
Yep.
Where was I going to shower? I mean, I had friends that I was bumming off of during that time, but I'm like, this is not sustainable.
Yeah.
I can't keep doing this. And especially because at the beginning, it was always just like, the same thing that we all thought. This isn't going to last very long.
Oh, dude,
it'll be back to normal.
I was like, this is nothing.
So quick.
Let me go skateboarding. Yeah.
But probably the 27th time that I took a shower at Christina's house, I was like, okay, this is gonna continue to suck, especially through the winter time. That would suck even more, because I have to be indoors most of the time. Summertime was fine; I just be outside all the fucking time.
Yeah,
I could go to parks.
Well, that was a very, very nice summer.
Yeah,
it was great. It was awesome.
Social distancing was happening.
Skate park was fucking fire. Yeah. Dude, created a whole community in my neighborhood. I loved it. It was great. We had a great time. Didn't have to work. It was fucking awesome. Yeah, except for took all my money. But yeah, so I get that. Yep. And then it was October, November, and you're finally like, fuck.
Yeah. But like one of the biggest reasons why it took me so long to get rid of Rose was I was really afraid that having a van and living van life and like having all of these stories about it and everything was the most interesting thing about me. Which is really sad.
What do you mean? No, it's not. It's great. Like,
I thought that
it is interesting. It's a great adventure.
Selling her and getting rid of her,
yeah,
I was getting rid of that part of me, and people wouldn't find me cool and interesting anymore. Oh. Like I thought I was a boring person without the van. Like she was such a huge part of my identity around that time.
Identity, totally. That's my skateboard. That's my bike. That's my any of those
That's
things.
why it took me so long to like finally just decide to like let go.
Well, wait a minute. You didn't really want to let go either.
No.
Okay. Look, can I did this van go on adventures in those 3 years?
She did.
Okay. So that's great.
She did. When I had her, we did. We went on lots of adventures.
Okay, that's awesome.
We had a great time.
I mean, after you moved into like an apartment or whatever.
No. Not really, no.
Like, oh, you had a van, you didn't like take it. Like, okay.
No.
3 years of no adventures? Really? Didn't clock like one summer trip?
No, because she had a lot of shit going on with her at that time. I don't even remember.
Yeah. But you didn't trust it. You didn't trust it for a Colorado trip.
I didn't trust her for like a long road trip. Right. And those mechanics like went out of business during COVID too.
Yeah.
Which sucked. Yeah, it was just, oh my God, it was just so many things. But yeah, that was a huge reason why it took me so long to get rid of her, and like still like a huge reason why I'm not finished with it yet. Like, and I knew that when I sold her too. I was like, this is not the end of van life. Like, you can't take van life out of me.
Well, that's the thing. We haven't gone into like like I had in thinking about talking about this podcast, I had to think through the straight crazy number of different iterations of camper vehicles I've had. It's long, it's a story. It's you're on number 2 right there, and they both have good stories, and that was a great story. But your next one's gonna be something different and something cooler, and it's gonna have
like a
better water jug.
I never got to do van life the way that I wanted to. And
can I ask what's the way you want to?
I don't want to city dwell.
Well, yeah,
that's all I've done.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'm not trying to do that.
No, so I mean that's like the whole point of van lifing is to get the fuck out.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I've always used them. I've always used all my camper vans to like go stupid places.
Yeah, and I never did that. So
right, and that's not fair. That's not fair. You deserved to do that with that van.
I did, yeah.
And especially that's why I was like in the 3 years since you moved into an apartment, you should deserve to at least do like, weekends, weeks, whatever, something. But you didn't. But you didn't.
Nope.
And then you finally, why did you, what was the kicker? Paying for insurance, paying for parking, moving around, just like.
Yeah, insurance is a big thing. Parking was another thing, And mechanically, she needed something like big replacing her that I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, transmission or something.
Transmission. I think it was that, yeah.
Those vans, yeah. Trust me, I could tell you what. Would you like to hear a camper van transmission death story?
Poor baby.
I got a good one.
Yeah. But we've been recording for over an hour now.
Are you kidding me?
I think we should pause.
Is that a pause time? Okay.
I think we can pause.
The problem is, I know it's true.
We can talk about your van story.
Okay.
When we come back.
All right. That sounds fine.
Okay.
I love these stories so much though that I'm never ready to pause, even though I know we need
I know.
to pause.
Like I could literally talk about van life for a very long time.
I think we have to continue, and because your Rose story is just sort of a setup here, actually, and I still feel like it's like you came to a nice close here, you had to sell it. I don't know, but there's more to the story.
Yeah. Oh, I was so heartbroken that day.
Oh, see, how heartbroken.
Yeah. I was saying goodbye to a huge part of me. That day.
Yeah, and you had to like let somebody else drive away with it.
Yeah. They didn't even drive. They didn't even drive. They put her on a trailer.
You have to watch somebody trailer her away.
I know. And I was like, oh my God.
That's so tragic.
No, I'm so incredibly happy to the couple that I sold her to, though. Like, could not have gone to a better pair.
Yeah.
So
they had a dream.
So happy.
Very similar to your dream. And they were getting one little head start on that dream.
Yeah. I kind of needed to talk about this for a second, though, because I think it's extremely important, especially in our political climate right now, that when I posted Rose for sale, I fluctuated her sale price so much because I kind of like.
If you're cool, it's cheap. If you're not cool, it's freaking expensive.
I was okay posting her for like not a lot, like $1,000. And I was only okay with that because I wanted her to go to someone who was going to use her.
Yeah, someone who needed $1,000 van. Yeah.
Adventures.
Yep.
I didn't want it to go to a construction worker. I didn't want it to go to, anybody like that who's just going to strip it and, use it for whatever.
Yep.
I wanted to go to someone who was stoked about van life.
Yep.
But when I posted it, I didn't really get any bites. It was, it was mostly, guys like that, like would message me and like want to know all of the crazy specifics about it, which, I had in the description, like 5.7 liters, driven this many miles. The last time I got the oil change, blah, 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 all of the mechanic notes because I got a tune up recently and blah, 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 and all this stuff. But beside the point, when I posted it on Craigslist, I got a reply back from someone and they told me that their name was like, I don't know, like
Rainbow Moonshine?
No, they told me that their name was like, I don't even remember the name, but just for whatever. They told me that their name was Steve or whatever. I'm making that up, but just like a man's.
Definitely different than Rainbow
Moonshine. Man's name or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were just like, hey, very interested in this van. Like me and my partner, like very interested in this van. We would like to come look at it and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, sweet. I didn't like reply next, but then they sent me another email like a couple minutes after that. And they're like, hey, so we actually looked through the photos again and we saw like the trans pride pin that you have in your window of Rose. And I want to let you know that my name is actually Violet. And I was like,
that was like, the kicker.
That just made me feel so happy.
Yeah. No, you're handing it to someone you wanted to hand it to. That's great.
That like they felt comfortable enough with me, and I'm just so happy that like
what detailed photo looking too. Like
I
nice.
know, yeah.
They were like zoom. What?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and so that just like
I mean, they got to worry about like someone hating on them when they go to buy a van too.
Exactly.
So that was a win-win situation there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that like
secret code you put in there like accidentally.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Secret code, yeah.
Well,
but I'm just happy that like that Rose went to that couple.
Nice. I still am kind of disappointed that I think I've asked you this before, but you did not keep in touch with them. You don't know where Rose is now.
I don't know.
It's so sad.
I think it would make me more sad.
Probably would. Yeah. It's like my truck on Westlake. I have this situation.
Also, I'm also terrified of it too. Like maybe they didn't go on adventures with her. Maybe she did actually like break down and bad shit happened, and I don't know. So I'd be scared to like actually know where she is. But I hope she's out there. I hope she's going on all the camping trips and
I hope so
still
too.
Kicking it. So
I'm not going to imagine any bad things. It's great.
Yeah. Shout out
it rode off into the sunset. That's what it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So shout out to Rosita.
It's actually great. That's a good closure story because I'll be honest, most of my camper van vehicle type things end in like, yeah, it's a piece of junk.
Yeah.
Like, let it go. So yeah. All right, let's take a break. Shall we take a break?
Yeah.
That was great. That was a great intro to van life with Sarah. I think we need to take a break and walk away.
Yeah. So signing off, I might make this like a part 2 series.
Oh yeah.
Podcast because this is over an hour long. So
we talk way too much.
So tune back in for part 2, and thanks for listening, guys. This is let's do something stupid.
Let's do something.
We're definitely doing something stupid. Both of us dropped our drinks during this podcast. So
that was all right though. That was planned. No.
We literally just did an entire episode how you and I don't make plans.
Oh yeah, that's right. All right.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
See you guys later.
Who presses the button?